So number 13 from chapter 18 says, find the current in the 12 ohm resistor in the figure. And I redrew it just to show that these two resistors are in a separate parallel from these two resistors in the circuit. So here's the redrawn figure. And we need to find the current that's in this 12 ohm resistor. So the only resistor in series is this one, so it's 3 ohms. And then there's 3 different resistors in parallel. So I count this as one parallel, the second parallel, and the third parallel. So 1 over the resistance in the first parallel equals 1 over 3 ohms plus 1 over 2 ohms. And you get 6 over 5 ohms. Then 1 over the second resistance in parallel equals 1 over 6 ohms plus 1 over 6 ohms. You get 3 ohms. And then 1 over the third parallel equals 1 over 4 ohms plus 1 over 12 ohms. And you get 3 ohms. And then add it all together, and that's a total of 10.2 ohms within the whole circuit. Now, we want to find the amps that are going through this first resistor so that we can find the volts going through this first resistor so that we can split it up and eventually find the amps at this 12 ohm resistor. So the total voltage equals the total current times the total resistance, and we'll find that the total current that's like exiting the battery is 1.76 amps going through here. Then, in order to find the voltage taken up by this resistor, we do volts equals the current, which is 1.76 amps we just solved for, times the resistance, which is 3 amps, and the voltage that's going through here is 5.29 volts. Then, since it's splitting up into parallel, we're going to take 18 volts minus the voltage taken up by this one, which ends up being 12.7 volts, and it's the same for both branches. Then, it continues here, and now it's splitting up again. So we're going to ignore this one, we're going to ignore this voltage and do 18 minus 12.7 is 5.29 volts again, the same for both of these branches. Now we finally made it to the 12 ohm resistor, and we know its voltage and its resistance. So now we can solve for the current by doing 5.29 volts equals the current times 12 ohms. And finally we get that the current is 0.44 amps.